A very good morning, Bayo. Welcome.
Thank you, Yusuf. Good morning, Kinsley. Good morning, Nigeria.
Right, Bayo, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kinsley. What do you have on the punch?
I have the punch. I took the punch yesterday.
Okay.
So,
Can we just exchange?
Yeah, let's exchange.
So let me deal with the punch.
So that you don't become a punch expert.
That's right. I have the Daily Trust here.
All right, now let's continue with the Daily Trust.
Okay. APC chieftain asks court to nullify congresses and disband Buni committee. APC chieftain asks court to nullify congresses and disband Buni committee. Buhari deploys 9 permanent secretaries. Gastroenteritis kills 23 in Sokoto. And lead story says, third wave, NYC camps on red alert as 109 test positive for COVID-19. Short camps to check spread. Expert urges federal government. NCDC records 851 cases in 2 days and 11 deaths in 1 day. Government may roll out lockdown measures soon. We are safeguarding members. That's according to the NYC. And then you have heavy rainfall. Kano residents lament as flood destroys property. Uncertainty as UAE lifts flights ban on Nigeria 5 months after. Wife pours hot water on husband over forced marriage. Fresh crisis hits PDP as 7 NWC members resign. All right.
Okay, on the Punch newspaper this morning, we have at the top, November will test a Papa truck call-up success, and that's coming from Truckers. You get details of that on page 19. Right below that, we have 3 stories, and they are: Kerry appears before panel, mounts defense against Hush Pipi's allegations on page 7. U.S. vaccine lifeline, federal government states work out sharing formula, Lagos gates priority, page 2. And on page 19, federal government directs NSIA to source Mambila $200 million judgment debt for Chinese firm. The main story on the Punch newspaper this morning is APC plans Buni Oyetola Bello's removal from caretaker team, ICE Interim Executive Council. You get details of that on page 2 and as well on page 12. But the writers here are: party fears future implications of Supreme Court judgment on Yobe governor. APC member asks court to annul Congress's sack Buni-led committee. And then the third writer is: no going back on Congresses. No FS Court judgment bars, says Secretary. Below, as we move down, we get story one on page 8. That is Adamawa court sentences envious man to death for killing his wife and stepson. On page 9, herdsmen beg Taraba Emir for extension, pledge sacking criminal herders. On page 8, El-Rufai laments as bandits killed 6 in fresh Kaduna attacks. At the bottom of the page, on the Punch newspaper this morning, again, 3 Baptist school students found in Kaduna forest. Details on page 7. And then 5 in custody over Abuja celebrity chef's murder. Details on pages 4 and 5. And lastly, Sokoto raises teams. 23 die as disease hits 13 local government areas. You get details of that on page 8. Bayo?
Thank you, Yusuf. Let's start with a human interest story. The latest is that 3 students of the Bethel Baptist High School, Kaduna, have been freed. The chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Joseph Hayab, says that the 3 had actually escaped as far back as July 25th. In fact, before the 28 students were released. However, while they were wandering in the forest, they unfortunately fell into the hands of another set of bandits who now re-kidnapped them and had made demands. They initially demanded 10 million, later on reduced it to 10 million. However, Reverend Hayab says that an undisclosed amount was money was paid before the students were released. The 3, all of them male, were found by troops at Kankumi Forest, where the second abductors actually seized them. This leaves 81 students still in the hands of the initial abductors. It's been a traumatic period for the students, the parents, the school authority, and Kaduna state governments since they were abducted in the middle of July. 100 National Youth Service Corps members have tested positive to COVID-19. This is across the nation. And the National Youth Service Corps says that whenever Corps members report at camp, they are tested at the gate, and any positive cases are taken into isolation centers for further confirmation and treatment. The NYSC says that they will safeguard all members. Meanwhile, in Edo State, 17 of the NYSC members deployed have tested positive to COVID-19. Leadership reports that they have been admitted at Stella Obasanjo Hospital, Irua, for treatment. The Chief Medical Director, Dr. Osagie Ebonwoye, says that the confirmed cases are all unvaccinated. When the Corps members report to camp, they are first of all tested at the gate before they go into camp. Meanwhile, Governor Godwin Obaseki has also inspected the infection center in the isolation center. This, he says, is in preparation for the alarm that is going on about the Delta variant. He has, however, confirmed that there is no confirmed case of Delta variant in Edo State. But nevertheless, he says the state government is doing all it can to be thorough so that they will do the analysis and will be able to tackle the situation. He has also expressed hope that the latest Moderna vaccine that have arrived in Abuja, the Edo State is prepared to take its own set of consignment.
All right, Bayo, I just clarify something there. You were saying Stella Obasanjo Hospital, where the NYSC members were taken to. You said Irua. No, Stella Obasanjo Hospital is in Benin City.
Benin City, okay.
There is a teaching hospital at Irua, which serves the College of Medicine at the Ambrose Ali University. It's one of the highly specialized centers for infectious diseases or the viral infections. That one is at Irua. That's on the way.
It was the main infectious diseases hospital before the advent of even Ebola, when
precisely.
we now have several hospitals here. Yes. But on the political side, 7 members of the National Committee of the People's Democratic Party have resigned their position. Although some people report that they are members of the National Working Committee, a member of the People's Democratic Party clarified that they are all holding national executive positions in the party. The resignees claim that they have no confidence in the leadership of the national chairman in moving the party forward. Hence, they have called on Mr. Uche Secondos, chairman, to resign. And his tenure is expected to end in December, but he's also eligible for another tenure. On the People's All Progressive Congress side, the Punch reports that the APC is considering the removal of governors who are members of the caretaker committee to avoid any legal booby traps. Those to be affected include Governor Mai Mala Buni, who is chairman caretaker committee of Extraordinary National Convention, as well as Governors Abubakar Bello of Niger State and Governor Isiaka Oyetola, who represent North Central and Southwest on the executive panel. Many have expressed worry about the status of Governor Buni as chairman of the convention committee in the context of Section 183 of the Constitution, based on the pronouncement by the Supreme Court during the ruling of the Akeredolu versus Jegede, which went in the favor of the governor of Ondo State. That section says that the governor shall not, during the period when holding office, hold any other executive office or paid employment in any capacity whatsoever. The point says that the parties have 2 options: continue to risk everything or make adjustment and save something. The party members are actually divided. Some speculate that it has nothing to do with the congresses that took place last Saturday, while some argue that the congresses may be annulled. Others say that there's no ground for such. But the Governor Buni did not sign the notices for the congresses. They said they were signed by the National Secretary and the organizing secretary. It may be recalled that the All Progressive Congress lost elections in Zamfara, Rivers, and Bayelsa States on technical legal grounds. Nigeria, Blessing Oborodudu, has blessed Nigeria with a silver medal in the freestyle women wrestling, the 69 category. Chairman Nigeria Wrestling Federation, Dr. Daniel Igali, says that she surprised everyone by taking a full double attack on the tender knee that has been troubling her since the commencement of the tournament. Blessing Oborodudu Silva is the first Nigerian wrestling medal in the Olympics. Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Sunday Dare, has congratulated her and offered to pay for her medical expenses to fix the troubling knee in any country of her choice when she arrives home. Odunayo is another medal hopeful for Nigeria in athletics and is in contention still on the Tokyo Olympics. Meanwhile, Nigeria is now 64th on the medals table with 1 silver and 1 bronze.
All right, Bayo, thanks. Nadabo, you know, there's the whole issue of what to do with the caretaker committees for running the political parties, particularly in this case, the APC. It's a curious one. Let's say there's no relationship. Well, we can see the challenges that have arisen with the deployment of caretaker committees to run local governments against the constitutional provision that says that the system of local governments by democratically elected persons is guaranteed. That's Section 7. Now, a caretaker committee is intended usually to be a stopgap measure where you have a crisis situation and you say, look, how do we deal with this? And then, of course, you quickly get over it and then move on to the proper structures for governing your political parties. Now, this is just on the face of it. I mean, it doesn't matter which political party is involved or the individuals who are involved. How do you reconcile your key functions as an executive, the chief executive of a state? You have enough work already with now running a political party. I mean, that's even if the court says, look, this is fine or it isn't fine because there are different interpretations to that. You have enough work already. Running a political party is also a big time function. So we have to be careful so that because the precedents we set now, somebody is going to cite it 10, 20, 30 years from now, and at some point it becomes immaterial, whether you are a party member, whether you are in the party organ, whether you hold an executive position at the state level, and so on and so forth. If a state governor can be the chairman of a political party, then a local government chairman can also be the chairman of the party in the state.
Well, it's sad that
you follow. So
caretaker positions are supposed to be temporary. Yes. They are becoming a permanent feature. But these are some of the constitutional development and challenges that will help improve our democracy. And as time goes on, instances and circumstances will voice themselves up, and these challenges will be resolved. Already some persons have gone to court.
No, some are already in court, really. And you see, this is why the law now has a little lacuna there. It doesn't really specify for exactly what should be done and for what tenure these offices should be held. And sometimes you find cases like that taken to court, and people have started litigations now all over the place about why he should be, why he should not be, and things like that.
Yeah, the issue is for the political parties themselves to resolve. Are you following me?
Yes.
Parties have their constitution. Parties have their constitution, of course, and the rule is that you should abide by the provisions of your own party constitution. So, when you have disagreements within the party, how do you resolve those disagreements?
That's one of
As we said, you cannot allow a political party to fall apart. So if exigencies warrant the enthronement of a caretaker interim administration, it is intended to be interim. And there will be a consensus around what needs to be done. So the interim administration, discharges its functions, and then it becomes functions official, and then the regular party machinery continues. But you are hearing all of this. This is part of what, I mean, it's interesting, because going forward, the kind of judicial decisions that might arise will be such that, look, did you have the competence to do what you were doing at the time XYZ took place? You can see some of them are already saying that for the APC, for instance, that, oh, nullify the congresses, the World Congress that took place. I read one of the stories this morning.
You mentioned another word, consensus,
Yeah,
which is also
consensus,
generating
right.
another
Yes.
controversy following the last primaries. But again, like I said, these are developments that will help to consolidate our democracy. We will make our mistakes and right the wrongs, and then gradually we will politically evolve. There's also the concern story about flood. Heavy rainfall has destroyed over 1,000 homes in Kano State. This happened in Bunkure, Minjibir, Kano Municipal, and Ungogo local government areas. The chairman for the state emergency says that property worth over 50 million have suffered severe damage. And even in the Kano, an off-campus residence of students of Bayero University at Dambere area was also inundated. Students have to evacuate their belongings from those places. The residents have actually observed that this flood is attributed to poor drainage on the one hand, and on the other hand, indiscriminate dumping of refuse in some of the waterways that is available.
Oh, well, that's really unfortunate, Bayo, and it's flooding season this time around. It's all over the place. We hope it's not going to be as bad as last year. We thank you so much for really being on, coming on this program this morning. Tomorrow is going to be another day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's Good Morning Nigeria. We'll be back in a moment.